Okay, students, so once you've taken your photos, you need to download them onto a computer. Don't try to skip steps and do this from your phone or try to use your cropping tool on your phone to make a grid because those things don't work. And people have tried that in the past and they end up really struggling with this assignment because it doesn't work for them. This method is super simple if you just follow the directions. There's only 5 little steps, so just make sure that you do it this way and you'll be totally satisfied. All right, so once you've taken your photos and you've put them into your computer, click the link that takes you to the Proportion Grid Creator. This is a really handy, simple tool that I found online and it's totally free. It's really good to use. Once you've gotten here, you could either choose to watch the video or, I don't know, just go ahead and start it because I'll walk you through the steps myself. Okay, so hit start. Step one, you need to pick portrait as your orientation because you'll be drawing this photo. Unless your photo is in the horizontal format, most likely you took your photo in the portrait format on your phone, and so that's going to be the orientation. For the canvas size, you need to select 18 by 24 inches because that's the size of our drawing pad. Okay, that's the outside, that's the size of the outcome of what this is going to be. Okay, then you hit next step, and this is the part where you choose the photo that you've selected. Now, I've narrowed it down. This is actually just one I found on the internet. It's a painting by Chuck Close, but it's very photorealistic, so you'll see how this looks. And I've gone ahead and uploaded it. It's gone to the bar says 100%, so I can go to the next step. This allows you to rotate, just in case when you uploaded your photo, maybe it's sideways or maybe it's the wrong direction. If that's the case, use this tool to go ahead and rotate it until it's the right orientation. This one's obviously right, so I'm going to go ahead and just go to the next step. Now, this cropping tool is probably the easiest thing to mess up. The first couple times I did this, I didn't get it right. So pay attention here. So see the little square on your screen. This allows you to drag a proportionate 18 by 24 inch rectangle over your photo. Okay. Just make it as large as it looks good. You can adjust it by moving it around depending on where you want the face to be. You can move it up and down. There's lots of things you can play with, but once you've got your composition how you want it, and you've cropped it down to the point where you basically are really just focusing on the head and shoulders. You want as much of the face as possible for this assignment because that's really what the focus is going to be. Once you've done that and you've dragged your rectangle to the size you want it, make sure you hit this blue button here that says crop photo. That's a really easy thing to forget, and if you don't do it, it'll give you a bad grid. Okay, great. Now my photo is cropped. And I can just look at it here to make sure it looks to my satisfaction. Yep, everything looks good. So I can go to the final step. So for this part, you get to pick the grid size. And this is the grid that you're going to be drawing on your drawing paper. So I'm going to go ahead and say, why don't you guys just make 2-inch grids? It'll be easier to make, and I think that's plenty small enough to get good detail. For line thickness, I recommend picking number 1. Thinner is better. And for color, most likely you're probably going to use black. However, if it's a really dark photo, which it probably shouldn't be, you could choose white. But my suggestion, go ahead and just use black because that's going to go ahead and show up plenty. And at this point, I can download the image. And there it is. This is perfectly gridded and suited completely ready to fit into my 18 by 24-inch drawing pad. Now, what I'm going to do now is I'm going to save this probably onto a thumb drive or however you're going to transport it to a copy machine. You want to get a good quality copy of this made on 9.5 by 11 paper, and make sure when you select whatever copy that you do, that you make sure you print the entire photograph. Don't make it fit to the page, because you may very well, if you do that, make yourself lose some of this grid that you've created. You don't want that to happen. You want to make sure that this grid is completely intact. Okay. It should be 9, let's see. Yeah, 9 by 12. There should be 9 squares across here and 12 squares this way. You want that completely intact, but just make it as big as it will fit on a 9.5 by 11 piece of paper in the best quality that you can. And once you've done that, you have a great source material for this assignment. Okay.